Hello and welcome to your news and features electronic magazine that centers on the different facets of motoring, now in its 34th year. This is Motoring Today. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the effects on traffic of the transport agency's EDSA busway project. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on following a traffic enforcer's signal in an intersection. This week's Buying Chaper shall be about the no smoking policy in PUVs. The public service segment centers on the reaction to motorists who illegally use the busway on EDSA. Showcase this week shall have the mini MPV from Honda, the Mobilio 1.5V CVT.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
COVID-19 may have slowed down, but certainly did not stop the DPWH and San Miguel Corporation from finishing construction and opening the final segment of the TP-Lex to motorists. It is now officially longer, and travel time to the north is shorter. Motorists can now travel from Tarlac to Rosario in just an hour, when before it took 3.5 hours. Metro Manila to Baguio can be driven in 3.5 hours. San Miguel Corporation or SMC and the DPWH have formally opened the final 11-kilometer segment of the 89.21-kilometer Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway or the TP-Lex to motorists. The completion and opening of the final section of the TP-Lex was undertaken while almost all of the country was under strict community quarantine or lockdown. At the ceremonial opening of the final TP-Lex segment, Ramon Ang, president of SMC, parent company of SMC Infrastructure, which built and operates the TP-Lex, said that in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, we at San Miguel Corporation remain committed to continuing our investments in growth-generating and job-creating projects that will help build the resilience of our people. Ang also revealed SMC's next goal is to extend the TP-Lex from Rosario to San Juan in La Union. Already, SMC has been given original proponent status for its proposal to build a 59-kilometer, 4-lane extension of TP-Lex from Rosario to San Juan. The full operation of a completed TP-Lex is certainly great news. Even better is SMC's plan, already approved by the government, to extend the TP-Lex from Rosario to San Juan in La Union. Is Toyota Motor Philippines looking at entering the business of app-based transport services? An intriguing possibility with its involvement with SWAT Ride. Commuters who daily take the point-to-point or P2P bus service from UP Town Center in Quezon City to Glorieta 3 in Makati can now reserve seats through SWAT Ride, a booking app being offered for free by Toyota Motor Philippines from July 20 to October 20. Toyota worked with Delta Neo Solutions, the operator of P2P buses on the UP Town Center Glorieta 3 route, to seamlessly integrate SWAT Ride to its operations. Through SWAT Ride, passengers can check available seats and book them in advance. Toyota's SWAT Ride offer is part of initiatives to help government provide reliable, convenient, and safe transportation for the commuting public amid the COVID-19 pandemic. SWAT Ride can be downloaded from the App Store, Google Play, and Huawei App Gallery. Changes in commuter behavior and attitudes on vehicle ownership have prompted many car companies to rethink their business models and centers of profit. But perhaps Toyota Motor Philippines is just looking at more ways to help commuters amid the pandemic. EDSA Busway is moving closer to full operation with the arrival of the first batch of concrete barriers ordered by authorities. The first batch of 9,000 of the 36,000 concrete barriers ordered for the EDSA Busway project has arrived. Transport Secretary Arthur Tugade said it has fast-tracked the delivery of the concrete barrier to hasten the completion of the EDSA Busway project. The concrete barriers are to be delivered straight to segments of EDSA where they are to be immediately positioned and installed. A joint project of the DOTR, the DPWH, and the MMDA, the EDSA Busway aims to provide an efficient bus service on EDSA, as well as improve traffic flow along the metro's busiest thoroughfare. The barriers are meant to be used to segregate the lanes dedicated for buses on the innermost lanes of EDSA from Monumento in Caloocan to Baclaran, with a loop ending at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange or PITX. The EDSA Busway will have loading and unloading bays, also in the middle of EDSA. At present, the DOTR is implementing what it calls the interim operation of EDSA Busway with curbside loading and unloading allowed on identified stops and junctions. The question is, will transport authorities and the MMDA phase in segments of the EDSA Busway as each is completed and phase out the use of curbside loading and unloading of passengers? Another question, how fast will it take to complete the installing of the barriers as well as safe loading bays? Can the IATF be convinced that Angkas and others like it can provide COVID-safe motorcycle taxi services? Angkas, the local pioneer of app-based motorcycle taxi services, has tapped the University of the Philippines College of Public Health, or UP-CPH, to come up with a study on how to make motorcycle taxi services relatively safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic. At a digital press conference organized by Angkas, Dr. Vicente Belizario Jr., UP-CPH Dean, said that it was finalizing the recommended guidelines on health and safety protocols for motorcycle taxi services during the pandemic.
So knowing the enemy is actually leading us to understanding the risks. And in public health, we need to understand the risks so that we're able to help minimize the risks by a number of measures, several of them, put all together, providing us layers of protection or layers of prevention so that we don't eventually get the disease, the dreaded disease like COVID-19 or even tuberculosis.
The recommended guidelines will be presented to the Congress and the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF. In tapping the UP-CPH as well as Lee Parks, president of Total Control Training in California, a multi-awarded and multi-established institution for motorcycle safety, Angkas Chief Transport Advocate George Royeca said Angkas wanted to work with experts and stakeholders to ensure public safety in the operation of motorcycle taxis.
I'm not actually familiar with any other countries that are doing this. I think this is actually being pioneered there in the Philippines. And so that's really exciting. Other countries, to the best of my knowledge from the research that we've done, will have people wearing the masks and the face shields. But that's it. This is really a pretty novel solution to add that extra layer of protection, as just previously mentioned. And I think really the rest of the world is going to be looking at the Philippines to see how much of a difference this makes. I have really high confidence that, like I said, 5 specific layers in between one person possibly transmitting to another in both directions is a really high safety margin, as we would say in the motorcycle training business.
Royeca is hopeful that the IATF will allow and set protocols for the safe operation of motorcycle taxis as the country transitions to the new normal, especially after the IATF approved the use of Angkas design protective barrier for tandem riding of couples living in the same household.
I'd like to stress out that the shield, as what Doc PM's presented, is only one part or one aspect of the viability of motorcycle taxis amidst the COVID pandemic. There are public health measures that need to be put in place from the platform provider like us, the responsibilities, the passenger's responsibilities, and the driver's responsibilities. At ito po yung ating pag-aaralan. But also, since na-approve na po yung ating Angkas Shield, hopefully this is a positive development onto our path, no, to help our citizens move within the city, or where they need to go.
If experts agree based on science and perhaps common sense that motorcycle taxi services can be made COVID safe, then by all means, they should be allowed to resume operations. The economy needs more and more sectors and industries, including public transport services, back in business. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The DOTR and the MMDA have touted the EDSA busway as one of the keys to solving the problem of traffic congestion in Metro Manila's busiest thoroughfare, and as a major component of a safe and efficient network of mass transport systems to serve commuters as the Metro eases out of strict community quarantine measures into the new normal. Now, under what authorities call interim operations, the EDSA busway's effect on traffic is the topic of this week's edition of Motoring Forum. In the days following the declaration of enhanced community quarantine in Metro Manila, EDSA seemingly became a ghost highway. It was an eerie sight to some, a wonder sight to many tired of slogging through EDSA 24/7 in pre-COVID days. But that can't last long, although it was long enough for the air over Metro Manila to clear, and lo and behold, many can actually see the Sierra Madre Range behind the Metro's skylines. As ECQ turned to MECQ and MECQ to GCQ, more and more private vehicles began to return to EDSA, along with a few buses and shuttles and other vehicles allowed to transport frontliners and the cargo haulers of essential goods and commodities. As more and more businesses were allowed to reopen, although at a reduced capacity, authorities began to phase in more transport modes to service workers returning to work while encouraging the use of two-wheeled vehicles, motorized and the pedaled varieties. Perhaps an empty EDSA was perceived by transport authorities as a blank slate on which to draw a new vision for a thoroughfare long beset by gridlock caused by unruly and undisciplined bus and cargo truck drivers and equally unmanageable private motorists. The DOTR and the MMDA began talking about transforming EDSA into a model for safe and efficient thoroughfares during the transition to the new normal and beyond. A major component of this transformation is the EDSA busway. As envisioned by the DOTR and the MMDA, the EDSA busway will shift the bus lanes from the two outermost lanes to a single innermost lane to be used exclusively by buses. At least 12 or more bus loading and unloading zones, covered, lighted, and railed for safety, will also be set on center islands. The idea is for buses to run exclusively inside their designated lane with no overtaking allowed. And buses would only load and unload passengers at stops in the middle of EDSA. Their times at the stops limited, no waiting for passengers. The The EDSA busway would basically be a carousel for buses running in a loop from EDSA Monumento to Baclaran, then to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, then back to EDSA Monumento. It estimated that the busway would cut bus travel time from EDSA Monumento to PITX to just 45 minutes to an hour instead of the usual 3+ hours. The MMDA, with the help of the DPWH, began fast-tracking establishment of the busway lane using concrete and orange plastic barriers already on hand, and ordering 36,000 more to completely separate the busway from other vehicles. Even before the busway is completed, and with intensifying public pressure to provide more transport for commuters on EDSA, the DOTR went on to implement what it called the EDSA Busway Interim Operations. Curbside loading and unloading at designated stops on EDSA was still allowed, while buses were given exclusive use of bus lanes already marked out by barriers. With a lane for bikes also established on the outermost lane, private motorists were mostly restricted to 2 middle lanes of certain segments of EDSA, resulting in congestion enough for some motorists to post their plight on social media. At certain hours of the day and in certain segments, vehicle volume grew denser inside the lanes allowed to private motorists. Traffic slowed down to a crawl, but it kept moving. Except for a number of pasaway motorists of the two-wheeled and four-wheeled variety, Ferraris and government officials on private cars included, the busway lanes remained free for buses to speed on. Where curbside loading and unloading was allowed, where EDSA narrowed at junctions, at approaches to overpasses and underpasses and interchanges, traffic slowed, sometimes to a crawl, but not to the point of a full gridlock. Despite some angry posts or commentary on social media, traffic on EDSA did not really return to pre-COVID days or nights. But not everyone are out with their cars. Many are still working from home, and some are out of jobs. Meanwhile, the ordered concrete barriers are arriving, delivered straight to EDSA where they are to be installed and positioned. Work that some expect could add to congestion. The DOTR and the MMDA remain vocal about their commitment to their vision of a transformed EDSA with a busway, stops on center island and bays, safe pedestrian crossing to the loading and unloading zones, and yes, bike lanes. A transformed EDSA, well integrated to a mass transport network for the metro, with traffic flowing. The jury is still out on whether the EDSA busway will live up to the DOTR and the MMDA's expectations as a reliever of traffic congestion or an efficient provider of transport for the masses. We'll have to wait for when the EDSA busway facilities are complete and in full operation. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo. The Mitsubishi Mirage.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today, and in line with our lifelong commitment to promote road safety, here is this week's road safety tip in cooperation with Toyota Motor Philippines. Traffic enforcers are usually found on busy intersections. Baging ikaw ay pedestrian or driver, always be respectful of them at maghintay ng signal na galing sa kanila. Continuing this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. From Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, here is Payeng Choper this week.
Payeng Choper lang kaibigan, ako po si Hares. Isa po ang kapwa ninyo Choper. Baka di nyo alam, ang paninigarilyo ay matagal nang ipinagbabawal sa mga pampublikong sasakyan.
Respeto na lang po sa ating mga pasahero, lalo na sa mga di naninigarilyo na kasakay mo. Kung ang mga pasahero ay di pwedeng manigarilyo, lalo na sigurong bawal manigarilyo ang nagmamaneho. Ang usok na dulot ng sigarilyo ay perwisyo sa taong nakakalanghap nito. Kapag naninigarilyo ang driver, wala ang atensyon niya sa pagmamaneho. Baka di mo namamalayan, wala na din pala sa direksyon ng pagmamaneho.
Kaya sundin ang batas na ito para makaiwas makaperwisyo. Ito po si Haris Morales, Payeng Choper lang kaibigan. Mula sa isang kapwa niyo Choper.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Mitsubishi Strada Athlete. Unleash the athlete.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next. We start with the latest news and developments. In motorsports news, the first of 3 rounds of the 2020 GR Supra GT Cup Asia Philippines, Toyota's first virtual motorsports competition, takes place on July 30. The top 24 in the qualifying leaderboard challenge held last July 23 for the 2 major open categories, the promotional class for novice, casual virtual racers or enthusiasts, and the sporting class for advanced racers with professional virtual motorsports experience will be competing in the round. 2 special classes will also be competing in the first round, the Celebrity and Media Classic, where the 3rd Philippine champion will come from, and the junior class for players below 18 years old. The top 24 qualifiers in the respective classes will race in the semi-final and the final race heats, and points will be assigned based on finishing times. Open to Filipino citizens aged 18 and above, the competition is for players with access to a PlayStation 4, an active PSN account, and a PS Plus subscription, and a Gran Turismo sport game. The players from the 2 major open classes and the media class to accumulate the most points after 3 rounds will be declared the Philippines champions and will participate in the Asian Regional Round in October. The Philippine leg of the 2020 GR Supra GT Cup Asia is being staged by Toyota Motor Philippines in partnership with Tuason Racing. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the local auto industry.
A new Isuzu dealership is rising in Matina, in Davao. It will still be run by Isuzu's longtime exclusive dealer of Southeastern Mindanao, Southern Motors of Davao Incorporated, or SMDI.
SMDI has been in operations for 71 years. It has served more than 3 generations of Filipino families and businesses since it was established. This building has been a testament of how we overcame the challenges through the passage of time. It has become a monument of our longevity and strength. There is a verse on the Bible that says, "There is a time for everything. A time to scatter stone and a time to build them." As we break this ground today, we will lay a stronger foundation that could last another 70 years or more.
But the new showroom and service center, being built on the same lot of the old dealership facilities in Matina, will reflect the standards and design of the new Isuzu Outlet Standardization, or iOS concept. Top executives of Isuzu Philippines witnessed the groundbreaking ceremonies, along with officials of SMDI. The Isuzu iOS design principles focuses on the creation of a conducive atmosphere for improved customer service experience and smoother business operations, the application of purposeful design tailored to customers' needs, and the communication of Isuzu's reputation for durable, reliable, strong, and fuel-efficient vehicles. Also at the groundbreaking, Isuzu Philippines President Hajime Koso said the iOS is aligned with Isuzu's global dealership standards that gives importance to not just the sales side, but the overall customer journey, starting from their inquiry, sales, after-sales service, and their continuous return to our showroom. The new outlet standard will enable us to provide customer support in every step of the way. There's a new Mercedes-Benz showroom at the Bonifacio Global City, and it will blow your mind.
The brand experience at Mercedes-Benz has evolved in many ways, and most enhancements are focused on improving the customer experience and customer satisfaction. The new 554 square meter state-of-the-art facility in Bonifacio Global City boasts a contemporary architecture both outdoors and indoors, with an exterior that sports modern design and a shift to digital. It is equipped with modern facility that will allow customers to experience Mercedes-Benz virtually and in reality.
A blend of contemporary architecture and a new age lighting and digital technology. A bar and lounge to relax in. A star assistant to welcome you. Tables and walls that serve as modes for product presentations and visual entertainment, especially videos of Mercedes-Benz vehicles. Product experts to help you learn everything about Mercedes-Benz models, technology, and ownership experience. Interactive digital process for choosing and payment of Mercedes-Benzes of your dreams. And finally, the handover area where you finally get to meet and touch your Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz calls this new showroom and dealership concept the MAR 2020. The MAR stands for Markenauftritt Retail, which translates to Brand Appearance Retail.
The introduction of the new showroom with MAR 2020 standards marks a big change in how Mercedes-Benz approaches retail across the globe. With the effects of the new normal, we remain to demonstrate our commitment to hold the leading position of Mercedes-Benz in luxury car brands in the country.
In essence, Mercedes-Benz wants to make even the process of buying a Benz one memorable experience. You are not only buying a vehicle, you are buying the brand. Nissan has upped the ante in the battle for stakes in the e-vehicle crossover market with the all-electric Ariya.
Ariya opens a new chapter in our history, starting our journey of transformation in our business, in our product, and in our culture.
In unveiling the Ariya, Nissan promises an all-electric SUV with powerful acceleration and smooth, quiet operation, autonomous driving technology, concierge-level assistance, seamless connectivity, and a spacious, lounge-like interior, plus an estimated range of up to 610 kilometers.
Ariya is a truly beautiful and remarkable car. It is the realization of the unrelenting passion of our engineers and designers who have poured their best into this vehicle to deliver something truly special. It is special because everything we have done with this vehicle has one goal: customer satisfaction. Ariya will deliver more autonomy, more electrification, more connectivity to move people beyond and to a better world. The combination of cutting-edge styling, exhilarating powertrains, and a lounge-like interior brimming with advanced technology, this car is a hallmark of Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
The Ariya comes in multiple configurations to meet individual needs, including two-wheel drive and e-Force all-wheel drive versions, as well as two different battery sizes.
So based on our past experience, we developed this new e-Force system, which is consists on the two different independent motor, front and rear. So both motor can control the traction and the braking independently. So in addition to that, so each four-wheel hydraulic brake system control the braking system as well.
The e-Force balances powerful performance with an all-weather capability with twin electronic motors, providing a predictable ride with sports car level power. The Ariya is now the most technological advanced SUV in the Nissan lineup, featuring, among others, the ProPilot 2.0 Advanced Driver Assistance System, ProPilot Remote Park, and e-Pedal, Nissan Safety Shield System with Intelligent Around View Monitor, Intelligent Forward Collision Warning, Intelligent Nissan Confidential C Emergency Braking, and Rear Automatic Emergency Braking technology.
So the ProPilot 2.0 is the driver assistance system that combines the navigated highway driving with the hands-off single-lane cruising capability. So we have a 3D high-definition map, 360-degree sensing, and accurate GPS. So you have a very smooth vehicle movement, and then no need to be stressed over the long highway journey. And then driver can share the fun moment with all passengers.
The all-new Nissan Ariya will go on sale in Japan in mid-2021 at around 5 million yen. Europe, North America, and China will get the Ariya by the end of 2021. The AutoNation Group, official distributor of Jeep vehicles in the country, has brought the Jeep Gladiator to local shores. The Gladiator is the first pickup Jeep has produced since it stopped production of the Comanche in 1992.
Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon for the digital launch of the much-awaited Jeep Gladiator. The Jeep Gladiator expands the Jeep lineup in the Philippines and is the only trail-rated pickup in its segment. It's 100% Jeep and 100% truck.
A mid-size pickup based on the Wrangler, the Gladiator is powered by a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine, capable of generating 285 horsepower and 352 Nm of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed transmission that sends power to all four wheels. The Gladiator is not just a Wrangler with a 5-foot-long pickup bed. It has been diligently engineered from the ground up to provide real truck utility, functionality, and legendary Jeep capability. It also comes with all the amenities and connectivity expected in top-end vehicles, from among others, an 8.4-inch Uconnect touchscreen display that supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a voice command system to an Alpine premium audio system.
The Jeep Gladiator starts at $3,890 for the sports variant and at $4,790 for the top-of-the-line Rubicon.
Motoring Today now brings you our Car of the Week on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. 7-seater automobiles for the family now come in various shapes and sizes. There are MUVs or multi-utility vehicles, SUVs or sport utility vehicles, and MPVs or multi-purpose vehicles. Well, MPVs are, in essence, just bigger MUVs. Depending on where you are in the world, a 7-seater can be called a compact MUV or a mini MPV, like the Honda Mobilio.
Honda Cars Philippines has a number of 7-seater vehicles in its lineup. 7-seaters are sought by families who like their versatility for carrying passengers and cargo, and can either come in the form of SUVs or sports utility vehicles, MUVs or multi-utility vehicles, or MPVs or multi-purpose vehicles, depending on desired lifestyles and budgets. The most affordable 7-seater in Honda's local lineup is the Mobilio, positioned as a compact MUV or mini MPV if you like. Although its most expensive variant tops the SRP of the least expensive BRV, another of Honda's 7-seaters, but positioned as a compact SUV. The Mobilio cuts a sleek figure on the road at 4,386 millimeters long, 1,683 millimeters wide, and 1,603 millimeters tall. It clears the ground by 189 millimeters and has a 2,652 millimeter wheelbase. The latest edition Mobilio got a recent facelift that many said gave it an edgier look, although the description may be more literal than figurative. But you know it's a Honda from design cues as well as quality of fit and finish. Design cues aside, the Mobilio 1.5V CVT exterior comes with multi-reflector halogen headlights, fog lights on the front Fox air ducts, turn lights integrated into the side view mirrors, body color door handles, micro-type antenna, bulb-type tail lamp, high-mount LED stop lamp. It also has intermittent front wipers with washer and standard rear wipers with washer. The Mobilio rides on a 185/65 R15 tires, wrapped around 15 by 5.5 aluminum alloy wheels. The cabin has seats for 7. The dark cloth upholstery complementing the dark hues of plastic dash and trim. Headroom, elbow and leg room for front seats and second row seat can be best described as perfectly adequate for an MUV. Third row seats can be tight for adults. The 60/40 second row seating slides reclines, folds, and tumbles. The 50/50 third row seating split folds and tumbles. The folding and tumbling increase cargo capacity from 223 liters to 470 liters, with all seats upright to 521 liters. The Mobilio dash and instrumentation embodies the U in MUV, with Honda favoring a no-frills, elegant yet sporty approach to design. Comfort and convenience features enhance utility in the cabin, starting with a smart entry, power door locks and windows, 4 bottle holders, 5 cup holders, pockets to hold stuff on front and rear doors, front and rear dome lights, grab rails for 4 to 8 ingress and egress, an accessory 12-volt socket. The air conditioning system has manual controls with digital display on the dash, plus aircon controls for rear passengers. The infotainment system uses a 7-inch touchscreen with Bluetooth and USB connectivity, and plays through 4 speakers. The driver enjoys electronic power steering using a 3-spoke urethane with silver trim steering wheel that adjusts for tilt. Powering the Mobilio is a 1,497cc single overhead cam iVTEC inline 4 16-valve engine that generates a maximum 120 PS at 6,600 revolutions per minute and 145 Nm of torque at 4,600 RPM with drive-by-wire accelerator pedal control. The power is transmitted to the front wheels via Honda's Earth Dreams technology continuously variable transmission. The brake system uses front ventilated discs and rear drums. The suspension system features front McPherson struts with coil spring and stabilizer, and torsion beam axle and coil spring in the rear. The Mobilio 1.5V CVT does not lack for passive and safety features, now expected as standard in all cars. It comes with anti-lock braking system and electronic brake force distribution. The keyless entry system is complemented by alarm and immobilizer. All 7 passengers get 3-point ELR seatbelts, with wear seatbelt reminders for driver and front seat passenger. The Mobilio also has ISOFIX child seat anchors and child safety door locks.
The Honda Mobilio certainly deserves more than a look-see for those in the lookout for an affordable and versatile 7-seat cargo and people mover. That's our featured vehicle of this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until September 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems, not only in the metro but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems referred to us or we ourselves see and are hoping to fully find solutions for. Here is our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
Apparently, EDSA's exclusive and dedicated lane for city buses is also not free from violators. As reported in news and commentaries, private motorists illegally use the EDSA busway, both those on 2 wheels and in 4 wheels, some of which are government officials. One of the most talked about is the motorist driving a luxury sports car. The Interagency Council for Traffic, on its Facebook post, said that private motorists who will use the new EDSA bus lane, and we quote, will be fined for disregarding traffic signs and endangering the riding public, end of quote. According to the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, violators will be fined 1,000 pesos for using the busway and an additional 150 pesos for disregarding traffic signs. Here's hoping that all motorists would be disciplined enough to follow traffic rules and regulations for the safety of everyone.
And that's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And should you yourself encounter a motoring problem that needs immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. Please check out your screens for our contact details. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to check us out on our social media accounts.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now in its 34th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. Stay healthy and be vigilant at all times. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa.
Happy motoring.